Most supporters of Christian nationalism don't actually know what it is. Most people who support Christian nationalism view it as the church having more impact and influence on society and government. In fact, this is true across racial divides. 30% of white Christians, black Christians, and Latin Christians all support a basic understanding of Christian nationalism. If you're a person of faith in general, chances are you're going to believe society would be better off if it embraced more of your faith's tenets. This is incredibly reasonable until we start to break down what it actually means. The thing is having our faith have more influence over society and government is a very broad understanding. And when we start to break down what that would look like for different people, that's when there becomes significant racial divides. Now, the good news is that when you start to look at white Christian nationalism, where it's people wanting the government to enforce their faith throughout the nation, that number becomes significantly smaller. Most people assume that the Christian nationalism they support is just a social influence rather than a government-mandated one. This means the two biggest issues we are facing when it comes to white Christian nationalism are ignorance and blind trust. People tend to assume that their understanding of Christian nationalism is what their politicians mean when they start preaching about it. Or they blindly trust someone because they claim they're a Christian and just assume they align with their beliefs rather than wanting indoctrination. This is especially easy when the other side is painted as anti-American and anti-Christian, anti-faith. And the best way to combat this is through intentional relationship building. I live in a very red county where you can't even mention racial equality without being painted as woke. I spent a year with my congregation slowly preparing them to handle conversations around race. And it eventually led to a civil rights bus tour around town looking at our local history and inviting a black pastor and city commissioner to do a Q&A during the sermon time in the service. The most consistent response I got from my members was, I didn't realize we had so much in common. We have to be willing to take the time to build relationships and not search for a quick fix. I'm Graham.